Welcome back to Excel, a Mental Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Seth Rose, and this is episode 5. Last time we talked about 12 tips to enhance your sleep. Today we are talking specifically shutdown routines for sleep. As I said before, I can't stress the importance of shutdown routines enough. Routines are very intentional, they're consciously driven, and they are purposeful habits to create habits. And it makes things consistent. And so I'm all about using shutdown routines, typically starting them within a 60-minute window before you want to actually have head on pillow. If it's 30 minutes, that's okay. But here are some examples of ways that you can implement a shutdown routine. So let's talk about warm showers first. A warm shower or a warm bath, typically about an hour before you want to go to sleep, could be a really great way to kickstart the drop in core temperature. So you take the warm shower, you step out of the shower, you get that kind of like chill on your body. Core temperature starts to drop. We sleep cooler, we have higher quality sleep, and we stay asleep better when we have lower body temperature. And so a warm shower can definitely be both relaxing, but then also kind of kickstart that process for lower temperature. The next thing is kind of thinking about your next day. Part of this routine during the shutdown routine is you want to be unwinding. So these tasks should be more mundane. So think about things like preparing your lunch for the next day, or maybe getting things ready for breakfast, or setting the coffee maker, or getting your gym bag together, or if you're going into work to work out, you're putting your clothes that you'll wear that next day in your gym bag. So that way you're doing mundane tasks and being productive and getting those things ready for the next day. And 2, you can actually stay asleep longer. You don't have to wake up earlier to do any of these things, minus if you have some kids. But trying to do as much as you can the night before as part of that routine can be super helpful. The next thing is thinking about our external environment. So first things first is your phone. I typically set a do not disturb on my phone starting at around like 8:30 or 9 o'clock. So that way if there's messages or emails popping through, it doesn't ping me and I'm not looking at my phone as much. You can also set the blue light to be a little bit warmer on your phone. So when it drops past a certain time, that stimulating light to the eyes that secretes melatonin release and also disrupts sleep, you can kind of mitigate that with some of the features on some of our newer smartphones that are out there. And with that, thinking about light in general. So if you're chilling, hanging out with the family, watching TV, that's fine. But making sure that the external environment around you, try to dim the lights. That's also going to help with the melatonin release and making sure that you are still unwinding and there's not extra like blue light coming in that might disrupt your quality of sleep. Now, I already talked a little bit about lower body temperature, but in your room when you're sleeping, a lower temperature room is typically better. I actually sleep with a fan on, and I know others who do as well. So that way you can sleep comfortably and not overheat, and which might cause you to wake up during the night. And then also too, we want to make sure that our room environment is clean. This can help with decreasing like problems with congestion in your nose, which then ultimately are going to impact your breathing and your respiration. So make sure that those pillows and those bed sheets are nice and clean. Also to think about these other ways that you can add in routines. I always recommend reading a hard copy book. Even when I was in grad school, I know a lot of friends and I all agreed that printing out research articles that we had to read and highlight made a huge difference to make sure that we could still get enough sleep at night, and not reading them on our phones or like tablets or laptops. But reading a hard book can also serve as sort of like a transitionary period from electronics to your room where you kind of want to disconnect. Oftentimes, people also use things like meditation, mindfulness, any sort of mindful attention of the breathing or breath work exercises, which can serve to help relax you. But also, too, if you are tossing and turning in your bed, you can use things like focusing on your breath and like the counting and pacing to maybe distract you and help you to get to bed quicker. A couple other things. One being journaling. You can use journaling to reflect on the day, to write down things that you maybe had going on today that you want to work on tomorrow, or even just dealing with to-dos or taskers that might be causing any sort of like anxiety or worry about the next day or that coming week. Really writing those things down so that way they're on paper can really help kind of put them in a place that is away from you and away from your room, knowing that you can deal with them tomorrow or at another time. Now, a routine doesn't have to encompass all of these things. I would say pick a couple that work for you, and try to then build them in consistently within that hour window. So for example, for me, I typically, if I work out in the evening, I'm doing a warm shower. Then I'm kind of dimming lights around me. I'm drinking some peppermint tea to help kind of cool me down or warm me up, and then also like just kind of get me more comfortable. Then I'm kind of doing those mundane tasks like coffee maker, lunch, gym bag, etc. And then I turn to a book, and that's kind of the hour and a half window of my shutdown routine. So give it a whirl, maybe write it down on paper, try it out this next week and see how things go. And remember, this is an evolution podcast, so try things out. If it doesn't work, then add or edit or take away whatever you feel needed. We'll see you again next time.